Everyone, we're back with Rising Rituals with Ray. I'm your host of this segment, Ray. And the whole purpose of Rising Rituals with Ray is to really give you a little juice, give you a little momentum, give you a little focus and energy for your day. 9 times out of 10, when we first wake up, the first thing we do is check our phone. And that is such a Russian roulette. Like, you can check your phone, it could be good news, it could be bad news. You never know. So, this is an opportunity to really take control over the power and the energy of your day. What I would like to talk about today is going back to the basics or the fundamentals. I feel as though, okay, so I've been studying entrepreneurs and I've been studying successful people since 2014. And there is a specific regimen that each one of them do in order to breed more success for them. And so, one thing I realized is that you are always a student. You are always going back to the basics. If you're not going back to the basics, or the second you think that, oh, well, I got this, I'm good, that is a lack of student mentality. And the second you stop learning, the second you stop becoming a student or stop being a student, is when your growth capacity stops. So when you're like, you know everything and you just are in a space of inability to learn or inability to accept change, then your success meter, that's where it caps out. So when you want to take yourself to the next level, and I was just sitting there like, I'm looking to take myself to the next level, but at the same time, like, I haven't revisited the fundamentals in a really long time. So the first thing that kind of like started my journey, two things actually. One, The Secret. If you haven't read The Secret yet, definitely read The Secret because it is absolutely amazing. There's an audiobook. It is absolutely amazing because it changes your mindset of what's possible and the power of your own unconscious mind. So that's amazing. And then two, Your Wish is Your Command. It is a 14-hour tape or CD series by Kevin Trudeau, whom it goes deep. It's called Your Wish is Your Command, the money making secrets they don't want you to know about. And what he did was he took a group of secret society members, a high level group. I think there was a king that was, I don't know the king of who or what, but a king, one of the people that were at the event that were by his side and, revealing all this information, one of his colleagues was an actual king of some nation. He didn't give us specifics over the audio tape, but basically what it was a conference that cost $10,000 to attend, and it was in the Swiss Alps. And it was like the first time this had ever been done before, where a group of these elite individuals came out and revealed the information of what was going on behind the scenes and how the elite kept their status and the reason what made them elite and the fundamentals of how to become elite yourself. So if you're looking to take yourself to the next level and you're looking for that elite status, and I'm not just talking about and don't get me wrong, like anyone on their level or anyone on any level can benefit from this information, but this is specifically for people who are looking to become part of that elite status. So if that's you, definitely stay tuned in because we're about to go through the fundamentals. And that's what I'll be talking about all week this week, is just like the fundamentals of becoming elite. So the first thing is, who do you listen to? And when I say who do you listen to, I'm not saying like, oh, you should listen to me, because I am just the reporter of this information. I did not come up with this information. This is just information that I have learned and I am reporting it to you. And actually, as I report it, I'm applying it in my own life. So, when it comes to generational wealth, this is not something that happens overnight. This is something that takes time to build and expand and grow. So this is not like, I'm not like, oh, I learned this information, now all of a sudden I'm wealthy. Like, No, like what's happening is I'm learning, I am unprogramming myself from the things that were created and programmed within me from childhood, and I am stepping into a space of my own internal freedom in order to manifest those things in my life. So when I say like who do you listen to, I will tell you all of the sources and all of the people that I get this information from as I teach it to you. So should you listen to me? Absolutely not. Like who am I, right? But listen to people who have what you want. And so when I say I've been studying successful people since 2014, I mean, I've been reading books. I have been listening to audio tapes. I have been listening to podcasts and documentaries and all types of autobiographies of people who have actually accomplished these things. Okay, so when I say who you listen to, I also mean stop asking irrelevant people for advice. Stop asking irrelevant people for advice. A lot of y'all are out there asking people who you might hold dear to you in terms of like, oh, I love them, or, you know, that's my mom, or that's my sister, that's my best friend, or whatever. But the truth is, you should only be listening to people who have what you want. Because let's take a relationship, for example. You can't ask someone who is horrible at relationships for relationship advice, right? You can't ask someone who has a track record of cheating on their spouse for relationship advice. They're not going to steer you in the right direction, right? So when you ask, like, when you ask for advice or when someone gifts you their opinion, you may receive it with a smile, but also bring that awareness of who do I listen to, okay? And number two, how teachable are you? The wise man knew or said that he knew nothing at all. I don't know if I'm like butchering that quote, but the wisest man in the world knew that he knew nothing at all. And it's true. Like on the grand scheme of things, like we're just learning about quantum physics, we're just learning about the power of the unconscious mind and how to create your reality. Like that stuff has existed since the beginning of time. But we're just now stepping into a space of knowing or learning about what that is. So just imagine you don't know what you don't know. Okay. And just imagine like all of the things in the world that you're unaware of. So do not sit there and expect that you know everything, you know, and that's something that I'm learning as well is how to respond to people when they give me certain feedback, whether if I agree with them or not. In every situation, there is something to be learned. Okay. So I took notes. Well, I didn't really take notes. I kind of like listened to it yesterday. And then this rising, I wrote about what I picked up from the excerpt that I listened to yesterday. So I'm going to read it to you. Y'all know I love reading from my journal. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote. All right. So yesterday I decided to run back Your Wish is Your Command from the beginning. Let's take it back and apply these fundamentals. First of all, who do you listen to? Are you listening to people who have what you want? Or are you listening to people who you hold dear in your life? Two, what is your teachability index? Okay, so your teachability index determines how teachable are you. You have to ask yourself a couple of questions. One, on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your willingness to learn? In every situation that is presented to you, you have to ask yourself, what is my willingness to learn? And if your willingness to learn is a 10 out of 10, you're doing good. But it means nothing if you do not follow up with the second question. What is my willingness to accept change? What is your willingness to accept change? If that is a 10 out of 10, then 10 times 10, that's 100, right? If your willingness to learn is a 10 out of 10, but your willingness to accept change is a 1 out of 10, that's only 10%. You fail, right? So it's important. You can't just be like, oh, I'm willing to learn. Like you have to be able to apply this information in a way that helps you advance not only your knowledge, but your skill set, okay? Your expertise. So, what is your willingness to accept change? When you're presented with an adverse situation, what is your willingness to learn from it and to accept change from it? I'm kind of going off book here. So, when challenge or adversity arises, fight the urge to disagree with others and remain open to feedback. That was literally for me. So hopefully that's a gem that you can take with you as well. But I wrote that for me. Fight the urge to disagree with others and remain open to feedback. Because I be ready to that's not. So become the observer, right? Release that need for control all the time. And I'm not speaking to any particular person out there. I'm speaking to people who are like me, who, I feel the need to have to control everything because there were so many things that were out of my control when I was younger that now I have to control everything because I know what's best. And how teachable are you? Do you always know what's best? I just looked at the time and it was 11. I was streaming for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. That part. So ask yourself these 3 questions. Okay. 1, who do you listen to? 2, what is your willingness to learn? And 3, what is your willingness to accept change? You talk about wanting to make more money or leveling up your life. And although you may be willing to learn, what is your willingness to accept change? You can't continue being the person you've always been. Think like you've always thought, and you'll get what you've always got. If you want more in your life, you have to think differently. You have to think with more. You have to become the person you're looking to attract. So revisit the fundamentals. Audit your thoughts and your habits. Oh my gosh, my stomach is growling right now. So it's time for breakfast. So I'm going to go. I also wanted to just let you guys know that, Sahat and myself, we created an ebook specifically for you who, for it's 7 biggest mistakes after your awakening. We noticed that there's people that are making these same little mistakes and it's unconscious. They don't even know that they're making these mistakes. So we created an ebook with hacks on how to overcome those mistakes. And we got a couple of bonuses in there for you as well. So go to 7spiritualmistakes.com and get your free ebook today. All right. I love you guys. I know it's a little short, but I'm starting my book today. And what I mean by that is I'm writing a book and I'm starting it today. So I got to do that in 15 minutes. So I'm going to go eat real quick and get to writing. But I will see you guys tomorrow, a little bit more of the fundamentals. Y'all have a beautiful, magical, and manifesting day.